Good evening, and welcome to We the People. Although I should say it doesn't seem to be welcome to the United States anymore. There's one we know about, Kilmar Albrego Garcia, who's been wrongly held in a severe detention facility in El Salvador, for which our government is paying, yet says they can't do anything about getting him back. This itself is sort of silly because Trump said that, gee, we're going to end the war in Ukraine in a day. We're going to end the war between Israel and Hamas, and he doesn't think he can deal with the El Salvadoran dictator that he's paying money to. But we know about that case, and it's a terrible tragedy, and there's no excuse for this going on. But there are other cases going on that we also should be aware of. First, a lot of people who had been sent to Guantanamo Bay have come back in the country because they were wrongfully sent to Guantanamo Bay. There is very little proof of people that has been shown of, proof of people being terrorists or part of gangs or having committed crime. And when I say little proof, of those people who have been part of gangs or have committed crimes, if there's proof, they should be gone. But let's talk about others. There's a Canadian woman who was held in a cell for 12 days by our immigration people because she'd come here to renew a visa she had. 12 days held in a prison. There are two Boston lawyers that have received letters from our whiz-bang brains at the Department of Homeland Security telling them that they had to leave the country immediately. Both these people are U.S. citizens with U.S. passports who've been born and raised in this country. Two German students who went to Hawaii to backpack and traveled by themselves in Hawaii were taken by Homeland Security because they didn't have a hotel reservation. They were strip searched. They were embarrassed. They were put in cells and then sent back to Germany by Department of Homeland Security. And this is because you don't have a hotel reservation. I can't count the number of times I've traveled around this country and didn't have a hotel reservation, for God's sakes. Donald Trump seems to say that, and Pete Hegseth and this nutcase who's in charge of the borders are, that if you have tattoos, that is enough to prove you're a member of a gang or a terrorist. That's complete bullshit and nonsense because there are tattoo parlors all over this country that have given people tattoos that have nothing to do with terrorism. Probably 90% of the people in our military who have served honorably, unlike President Trump and these other clowns, they have tattoos that honor their service to this country. That doesn't mean if they go someplace else they're terrorists. This type of thinking is not just bizarre, but it's affirmatively dangerous. And then when somebody doesn't have a tattoo, our borders are whiz-bang brain that he is, says that is a further example of somebody who's a terrorist because they're hiding the fact that they're a terrorist. Think about that. Think how stupid that is. This wouldn't pass a third grade test, for God's sakes, much less have a position in any responsible government.